I love teaching one-on-one with a student. I love teaching students in groups of maybe 5 to 10. Bring it up to 20. I always try to cap my classes at 20 when I give physical classes. I've taught classes of 250 and 300. That's the worst possible because there's no contact. It's just an audience. They're basically just wallpaper around the room and they're all on Facebook at the same time anyway. So there's no contact. You would think 65,000 students, even worse. It's not 65,000 students. It's 65,000 individual students. Teaching on a MOOC is one-on-one. You have a student sitting next to you. In fact, if someone watches my course, you occasionally see my face, but that's just to make human contact. Most of what you see is that hand and a piece of paper. The way I record them is an overhead camera at my desk at home, piece of paper, talking to a student that in my mind is sitting next to me, and in conversational terms, going through some mathematics. Now, the student can't answer back in real time, which is a big problem.
Yes.
And we can come to that, and people like Paul are going to try and help me to compensate for that. But it's basically sitting next to the professor and talking to the professor and trying to understand what's going on. In other words, in a MOOC, you're teaching one student.
Well, Paul, when you talk about the logistics of that, I mean, when you have a teacher who's actually online on that time, changing things or just putting it up, isn't there a natural advantage for the student who's likewise online at exactly the same time and doesn't have that delayed reaction of 10 hours later coming along and seeing basically a canned lesson instead of a live lesson?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. I mean, I think that there's, from the video perspective, since the videos are all kind of pre-recorded, I don't know if there's too much of a difference. Certainly, within the forums, there are times where like Keith or I will be logged into the forums, and if somebody posts a question right then that one of us can address, there could be some advantage there. But actually, I think our experience was in the first course, we actually, I think, intentionally tried to stay out of the forum, like answering questions right away until there had been a fair amount of discussion, or if it felt like it had gotten to a point that it was an unproductive disagreement. But there's actually so much value in staying out of the way and letting the students discuss with each other in the forums. And our experience was, I mean, people post in the forums and there's going to be a response within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, almost every time.